You're about to enter the world of Michael Zavala. Now's your chance to turn back.
Get in the back cave, Michael.
Okay.
Don't do Red Bull, do cocoa or something. I can't hear you.
Wow, he's dowie citizen.
I'm just amazed at what you think about.
This is MZ Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited. I'm jumping out of my chair with my faja on. We have legends in the room, and they are taking over the world so quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to take it away with your iconic intro. Take it away, ladies.
I'm Kasandra and
And I'm Miss Jamie.
And we're the real estate dolls.
Incredible. In studio.
I can't get enough. Welcome, ladies.
Thank
y'all look
you.
amazing. How was your trip getting into town?
Fast.
Good. Yeah, quick.
Easy.
I was making a video half the drive, so I didn't even see it.
Really?
Making a video, and
Yeah.
the highlight was stopping at Buc-ee's, and then we got here.
Buc-ee's.
Yeah, it was fast. It was really fast.
What did y'all buy at Buc-ee's?
Oh, same. Like the biggest Dr. Pepper Zero possible, and those like candied pecans. Like
Oh yeah, those are so good.
Yeah.
Can I ask y'all, when y'all arrive to Buc-ee's, do y'all get those little butterflies in your stomach? Like, oh my gosh, we're about to walk into Buc-ee's,
Oh, because we're excited, you mean?
or just because of your grand personas, honey?
No,
More
we
just
just
to
need
see
to
who's
pee.
in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just see if there's anyone to like bird watch. But
I love that you know the bird watching term. Oh my god!
a
There's
little
always a
birdie
good
told
one.
me.
There's always a good one or two in Buc-ee's.
Wow.
Little country boy.
They have amazing restrooms.
That's
Yes.
the real reason. To be
I
honest.
mean,
Yeah.
you feel so. You know, back when we were in school, and sometimes nature called, and you were like, "Lord, why on this
Please.
day?" And the door has that big
The
crack.
Yeah.
and everybody can see.
Everybody should have individual little rooms.
That's Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's has it. So we got to start off with the question everybody wants to know: how did the real estate dolls come to be?
Okay, the full story. Yeah.
The full story, yeah.
Okay, so we were doing real estate with Coldwell Banker. We got our broker's license last year, created our own brokerages individually. This year, I went to a luxury real estate summit and made the decision that I had to just bite the bullet and do more videos. Of course, I'm like, we have to do more videos. That's it. It is what it is. And then Jamie came up with the idea of coining us the real estate dolls.
Yeah, but I do have to give credit because so Kimora Black, we were actually, well, I heard it from a few different people, but Kimora Black called us the dolls, and I hadn't heard that. I hadn't really heard it. I didn't realize that was the new thing. And then I heard Luscious Massacre saying the dolls, and I thought, oh, this is a thing. And we were leaving a restaurant at me and Cassandra and a girlfriend of ours, and there were some gay guys there, and they were like, oh, the dolls. And I thought, oh my God. So when she started wanting to do videos, I thought, well, we have to brand ourselves as something because we can't just do videos like everyone else. We have to stand out. And I said, let's call ourselves the real estate dolls. And Cassandra's like,
I said, no, that's not going to happen.
yeah.
Are you serious? You were opposed to it
I
at the
was
beginning?
opposed to it because I just thought like, no, we're luxury agents, like that's like not going to work with our brand, that whole thing. And she said, let's just do one. We'll just do it, see what's up. We did that first video, and to look back at that video is so embarrassing because like, what were we even doing? And
Dolling around.
and that video blew up instantly. We filmed 3 homes that first day. By the time we got to the 3rd home, the first one was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It was like literally like, oh, something's happening. And so I thought, well, I guess we're the real estate dolls.
Yeah.
Oh, it totally worked because I will never forget being at home. I was on my phone and y'all popped up out of the blue like boom. And I saw what was going down and I said, this is the most genius thing I have ever seen. And I think I've seen a lot of stuff. Eric, I feel like we've seen so much.
Yeah, what got my attention was that somehow you guys capture the 90s.
The
and
90s.
I saw it and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Chris. Chris.
But wait, what makes you say that? Because a lot of people say that.
Because
I know how I look, but
No,
it's not the look.
No, it's not the look. It's
Yeah.
the feel of the video. You're like, "Hi, I'm Cassandra, and I'm Jamie.
you serious?
This is wonderful San Antonio."
like an old school show, like an old school TV show.
Or you know what it felt like? Like an old school, like you're up too late and
Yes.
those commercials come on at
Oh my
night.
god!
Yes.
like we're doing
Like
the
Miss Thing and,
Miss Cleo.
No.
Yeah, kind of like it.
Oh, now.
Kind of that vibe though, a little bit like the late night commercial vibe. And Eric was so excited, he told me about it.
Stacy.
He wouldn't stop talking about it.
Oh really?
Yeah, he loved it.
Awesome.
I love Cassandra by the Riverwalk. In San Antonio, there's the Riverwalk. You can sit down and have a bite to eat, and then you chime in. You're like,
Yeah.
or blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, oh my god, I just love this. I'm dying inside.
God.
When the camera turns on, I start talking sexy.
Oh, girl, and please.
Acting sexy.
Yes.
I am a big flirt. It's just in my nature. Like
Yeah.
I'm half Puerto Rican, so I flirt with everybody. So the camera
She's doing
turns
it
on,
now.
and I just start like working it.
Well, I don't want y'all to change a beat, honey, whether the 90s or anything, because here's the thing. We have 3 seconds to get people's attention, and I believe firmly that your look is definitely the hook. Y'all don't even have to say nothing. I said last night, I click repost before I even watched the video because it's just that freaking good.
Yes.
And as they have evolved, because y'all are blowing up quick. Y'all have been y'all just got back from New York.
And LA.
And then we went to LA after New York.
Did you do Andy Cohen? Did you do his show?
Andy Radio with
Andy
John
Radio.
Hill.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Radio
Wow.
Andy, sorry.
And all of it started because you were posting these videos and trying to sell houses, I guess. Is that what a broker does? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So our videos blew up, and how did it? Somebody mentioned something, and John Hill reached out, and I thought, well,
I know what happened.
I'm just gonna.
Somebody messaged us and said, from one of our videos and commented and said, John Hill just mentioned you on Sirius
That's
XM.
what it was. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
He had found us. So John mentioned us, and I thought, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna message him, and I messaged him, and he responded, and then we just started talking,
And now they're in love.
Who would have thought?
and we were already going to New York.
And now they're married.
Now he's my. I'm truly believe that we were soulmates in our past life.
Oh.
And I probably screwed him over, so I need to make it up to him in this
soulmate.
life. Yeah. So in this life, we grew up 4 minutes away from each other, and we're 2 years apart in age, and we never knew each other until May 19th when we met in person.
And this all went down.
Yeah.
Speaking of all of this, do the dolls get hit on a lot out
All
of
the
the world?
time.
Really?
All the time,
All the
but
time.
yeah.
Because trans girls do all the time, and then we're
Yeah.
glammed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is the kindest compliment you have ever gotten out in the world
The kindest.
by a man?
There's this guy
okay.
who sends me voice notes every morning and sometimes every evening, and like I've never met him, and I don't even respond. And earlier I listened to one, and he's like, "Your pictures, you look so sexy. Those legs, those beautiful toes." And I thought, oh, now he's lying.
Like, clearly you're looking at, 'cause,
Yeah.
my feet look like Flintstones.
Yeah.
Like Shrek.
People are into the whole foot thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, cool. I'm down.
I
Whatever.
mean, yeah.
Oh, you would do some foot fetish type
Okay.
stuff?
I mean, yeah. I
In a
mean,
house chore.
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I've had a lot of fun in my life, so I'm like not really looking to have a lot of extracurricular fun unless it's for, you know.
I dare you, Cassandra, to just send a picture of like some Frodo feet just out of crazy and say,
Oh, do you like
are
this,
mine,
baby. You
I
like them
should.
like that?
Well, I forgot
And
to
they
get a
probably
pedicure
would.
before we came to town, so my feet would just work.
oh, I live.
Few
I
weeks.
love it.
I find you guys so fascinating. I say guys with love because
No,
we're all
yeah.
girls and guys,
Of
you know,
course, yeah.
all of that. In your journey in real estate, what is the wildest thing that has ever happened to you as you're selling a house?
Many things. Many
Yeah,
things.
it's a crazy.
One is, so one time I was getting ready for an open house and this guy walks in and I, fluffing the pillows and I have the cookies ready and he just walks in and he looks at the house and he looks at me and he just walks right up to me and says, "Wow, I've never seen a transgender realtor before." I was like, "Oh, well, now you have." And so, but he was really nice. He didn't mean any harm, but he was shocked to see a trans woman in an open house because of the stereotypes that society places on us, and they'd expect us to work in bars or entertainment, which we're great at. But, we can do other things too. We should be able to do everything. So he was really nice. He didn't buy the house, but that was one of the craziest things. And then I think I mentioned to you, but another client asked me if I was a lesbian.
Oh my God. Walk us through that for the audience.
So we're going through the showings, and he's kind of looking at me, and he knows something is a little different, but he's not sure quite. It's like, this girl's kind of butch. Like, what?
She's kind of big.
Yeah, she's kind of manly. So he's.
Are you Norwegian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just like, Jamie, are you a lesbian? What? Excuse me.
You're like, yes, I used to date Ellen. I know what she smells like.
I'm like, well, no. I was like, are you? And he's like, well, no, I'm a man. I was like, well, so am I. So
What happened after that?
he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, did I offend you? And I said, no, did I offend you? And he's like, oh, no, okay, I'll drop it. And he dropped it.
But the men know. You know what I mean? That's just it's
way
like their
of
childish, indirect way to get in. They know what's up because they come crawling.
He wants me to say like, oh no, I'm trans and let's sleep together. That's what he
So
wanted.
would you agree? You know how some guys are like, oh, I didn't know. You're like,
Sometimes I think they
what
may
is that
not,
saying that, like,
depending on how
thou
much they
who
had to
protests
drink.
too much.
the guilty dog barks the loudest. Out of curiosity, what type of guys hit on y'all the most?
Oh,
I live.
Yeah.
no. Well, what kind? You go first.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it depends on on us in particular, or in trans
Just
girls.
in general, when you're out in the world, say you're out there at Smoothie King getting the almighty smoothie, who hits on you the most that you're, writing off in your mental notebook?
I don't know. I mean, really, it just depends on the person. I think, yeah. I mean, all kinds. Married. We'll say that to generalize it.
I can tell you who. I get a lot of the Turkish and Indian.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. In LA, it's like every Los Angeles Turkish resident was hitting on her.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah,
Oh, they are so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Can we get hella real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too real. I'm just kidding.
Okay. I'll put a little more makeup on
I'm
it.
just kidding.
So, in the dating scene in the world, I find it hard to date as a gay man because I've always gotten thrown into the bin because I wear makeup or they find me too feminine. Like, that's what I've gotten as I've been pushed to the side in my life.
Really?
Did you, on your journey, ever experience, and somebody gave it a good name the other day, they say it's called femphobia, as a man that does all this. In your journey, did you ever experience that?
From other people in general? Or
From people in general, like let's say before you came into your full self.
I don't think I did. I'm sure you didn't because you were so young. And I transitioned, I was like, started at 17 and like androgynous through 18. And by 19, I was living this way. So I don't think I did, or maybe I did, but I don't think so.
No, and I think for you, for sure, you're probably people that would be most attracted to you are straight men who are attracted to femininity because you have a feminine appearance and appeal.
So maybe I'm going to the wrong bars, the wrong club.
That's because some gay men may like feminine guys, but if you're giving off a little bit of femme, you're probably going to attract straight men who like femme.
Well, I mean,
which
in
is
my
the same
life,
for us.
I've been hella femme, even though I try not to. Like one time, my good Judy Eric over here, he came to the house to tease my hair. And I mean, we were headed to a masquerade and I walked in with Patti LaBelle hair. So I mean, it was just what it is. But as your authentic self, you find the dating scene, it's just, it goes, right, for y'all?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to focus on that too much because I want something specific and I've had a lot of fun in my life. So I just, until I find that, I'm not bothered.
What would it take for Kasandra to settle down?
I didn't say it. She likes wallets.
Oh, you like the green, the
I like
cash.
wealthy men.
Really?
Yeah. I
Have
like a
you?
particular lifestyle and I can provide it to a point for myself. And so I figured I've seen a lot of people put up with a lot of shit. And I thought, well, why? And I've never been in love and I don't really care to be. So I don't know what that's like. So I feel, well, being in a relationship is a choice.
Yes.
And you have to work at it every day. And if you choose to continue to love each other and stay together, then it's a choice. It's work. So I'm going to make the choice I'm going to make.
Kasandra, now you got my little light bulb going off. What is the most luxurious thing that has been given to you?
I mean, my ex paid for one of my car payments for a little bit. I guess, I don't know.
One
I
of
have
your
a
car payments.
problem.
Right?
What? How many cars do you have?
I have 3.
What are they?
I have, so one that I'm waiting to be a classic, but it's not yet because it's only 19 years old. I have a 06 Mercedes E350.
Okay.
And then I have a Mercedes GLE 350. And then I have a Yukon XL Denali.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
That's it.
Texas girl, so I like big cars.
Right.
Just in case she has the weekend car. And then
Well, I have my like day off car. I live in by Bernie, like in the suburbs, so I drive my Yukon, and I'm a country girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I work or have to go to an event or downtown, I drive the SUV.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
I am so cool. I'm like, you got $5 for a bus ticket?
Right.
Like,
Can't even get that girl.
that is awesome.
And then my older car just sits under a car cover, and I drive it like every month or two.
That's what I do with my Knight Rider car.
Yeah, he actually does have the Knight Rider
Are you
car.
serious?
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you have a little
does.
watch?
I'm obsessed with cars.
Yeah.
Obsessed with
Do you have the
cars.
little watch that pairs with it?
I have a watch now. It's a replica watch.
How
I haven't taken it out of the box yet, but I have
Oh
one.
my God, I love that.
How cute.
So, in your real estate, selling the homes, you're out there on location. Have you ever walked into a home and said, "What the is going on?" in here?"
We can't sell
Wait,
this.
Like what?
Like crazy.
Like something bad going
Like
on?
a dead raccoon up in a cupboard somewhere.
Or a haunted house.
I've had many. A haunted house. You go first.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff. Like, it's a reno and the developer has one of his workers living there. So you're like, oops, sorry. Or there's
They
a whole
scared
air
you.
mattress on the floor. Or, it's just like, oh, these people didn't care to clean.
Oh, no.
Or
Do you know
anything
those
for the
videos
listing.
where they show you that like somebody has come in and flipped the house and it looks like a pretty nail? Then you get an inspector and it's a piece of shit. Has that ever happened to y'all?
Yeah.
I had a showing. This was probably the craziest thing that's happened in a house to me. But I had a showing with a trans friend of mine, and I was like, okay, sometimes the pictures look better, so just be prepared. So I opened the door, and it's raining inside the house. It's raining
video.
inside the house. We had a big rainstorm, and so I don't know what happened. The reno that they did was not done properly, obviously without permits, and the rain was just showering inside the house. And
What
it was
in the world?
Flooded. The living room was flooded with rain just coming in because they had done the roof or something, but apparently wrong. And I was, okay, let's close the door.
Right back out.
I called the agent. I said, your house is raining.
What happened? Like, what do you do
And it's
in
not
that
Brainy Man.
scenario?
Not rent.
She just had to let the listing agent know and press on.
It's an emergency that, obviously they're not aware of because they're not there. And so since I knew, I just called them and said, oh, thank you so much for letting me know. But
Yeah.
I mean, all they can do is send somebody over there right away, put a tarp over it. But,
You would think they would condemn the house. Like, we can't
Yeah.
sell this no more because there's
No.
going to be mold.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It was
They'll
the
fix
saddest
it and,
thing. Just
Man.
a little Band-Aid.
So in the world of homes right now, where do y'all see this going? Like everything is getting so freaking expensive. Have y'all noticed that homes in the hood are now like $500,000?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Oh my God, yeah.
Gentrification.
But it's happening everywhere.
Everywhere,
So do you
yeah.
think they're trying to like push out the hood in every city?
I mean, in certain areas, I think they're trying to revive, let's call it, some areas. So that's just kind of, it's happening more because times are changing, I think, and people want a different thing,
When they say, oh, the bubble's going to burst, what does that mean?
I mean, there's always ups and downs.
Yeah, I think when people say, "Oh, the real estate market is going to crash or the bubble's going to burst," they're referring to 2008 when there were a ton of subprime loans, so people that weren't credit worthy, qualified to get loans, all had them, and then the housing market crashed because there were so many foreclosures. That's not going to happen anymore. You pretty much have to give a blood sample in your firstborn to get a mortgage now.
Yeah.
So everyone is qualified. So it's not going to burst. It's just like the interest rates are going up and down. Prices have gone up. And so people just know that term and think that it's going to be a crash. And there isn't going to be.
We're just not going to be able to buy houses for $100,000 anymore.
No.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
And we had 3.5% mortgages during COVID, and that's not going to happen.
Everybody's waiting for that, but it's going to be waiting a long time.
We're in normalized times now.
Yeah.
I mean, in 1980s, it was like 15, 16, 18% interest rate on a mortgage.
And that was normal back then.
That was normal.
It was a little high, but it was normal. Yeah, 6 and 7% now is a normal, fair interest rate. But because people lived through a few years ago, they're like, "Oh, I can't believe it's so high now. I'm waiting for them to come back down." And girl, we were too, baby, but it's not happening.
You think that's because the prices are so expensive that if the interest rate was at like 10, 11, 16, people would never like.
So like, a $500,000 house at a 6% interest rate is going to cost you like in the mid 300s. 3,000s. Let's just say if we're a 10% interest rate, you're at $5,000-$6,000 for the same house. So it's just not doable. I mean, the interest rates do, in my personal opinion, this is not professional, I just think there needs to be a 5 in front of it. Even if it's 5.99.
People would feel better.
It's a mental thing, and the market would take off in prices. But when the market takes off, if it comes down too low, everybody starts buying. Then there's multiple offers, and then people are competing for the same house, and that pushes the price up. And then that house just became a comp for the house down the street. So then that house sells for more, and then that comp just becomes so then that's how housing prices get put. Like the market gets driven up because one house sells for a little over, it becomes a comp for the one down the street that sells for more, and then that neighborhood just keeps increasing in value because that's what we go based off of, and that pushes values up, which is what happened during COVID, and now we are sitting at these prices. And then after COVID settled down, interest rates went up, prices stabilized a bit in some areas, and some cities came down some more than others, but we are where we are, and this is where we are.
So I grew up in a place in Dallas called Oak Cliff.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to move back so badly, but it's
So
being
expensive.
heavily gentrified to the T. I love that y'all have heard of Oak Cliff. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know Cliff,
So get this. I grew up on a street called Barnett. And right now, it's not heavily gentrified. It'll get there maybe in 15 years. Girl, they're trying to sell some homes on that street for $700,000.
Yeah.
Now, if all the homes in the hood look like somebody just got, chopped up in there, can you do that? Can you price a home at $700,000?
Yeah, because some houses in areas like that don't have a comp, so they have to, we're going to go out. We're going to go back 6 months, and we're going to go out a half a mile and look to see what a comparable house sold for to give that price.
It also goes by supply and demand. So it really, the market is really determined by what people are willing to pay for a house in a neighborhood. So if somebody sees that house and says, you know what, this is the house I want, this is the neighborhood I want, I'm going to pay $700,000, then that's the new market price.
Oh
and if they're not getting
God.
a loan that requires an appraisal, they can pay anything they want for it, and then that becomes the comp.
Yeah, it goes by what people are willing to pay.
I would buy a ass house in that neighborhood now.
Yeah.
Cassandra, if you move to Oak Cliff, if y'all come to Oak Cliff, it's a wrap, honey.
I'm telling you.
Oh, she's like, bitch, get the house.
No, I'm telling you, you should. I would, if I were you, I would buy
Get
a
it.
house in that neighborhood because
To be honest with you, boo, to be honest with y'all, because I love that y'all know all about this. If I had the $700,000 for the home, I probably wouldn't even buy that house
No,
because
you'd buy
I could
somewhere
make
else.
me
You'd buy
a
something
bomb ass house somewhere else.
You know what I'm saying? If there are older homes or something that you normally wouldn't look at that for a lesser
A
price,
Yes.
I would buy that.
And
That's what Eric did. He bought a fixer-upper.
Yeah,
that's what
buy
I
a
did.
fixer-upper. Yeah.
but
Do what
not
you
in
wanna do
Dallas. It's in between actually Dallas and Fort Worth,
nice.
right by the airport. So I think it's still advantageous to still buy that house because it's easy to sell because it's by the airport.
Right.
And between
And
Dallas
if you do
and
any
Fort Worth.
improvements, it's
Yeah.
going to improve the value and plus time.
You can't go wrong with real estate.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm noticing that I think is just so wild is that house that I saw for $700,000. They lowered the price to about the 500s now.
Oh, it was
But get
overpriced.
this, there was an empty plot of land right next to it, and they are building a massive brand new home on that plot of land.
Well, forget it.
So I said, this little house over here that was flipped compared to the new one next door. Oh my God. So that's the future of that area. Now get this, that street that I grew up in, if you go just a street away, there's like huge homes there in the million range.
Yeah.
And does that affect comps?
Yeah.
It could. It depends on the quality, the size, the square footage,
If
the
they're
year
not
it
the
was
same-
built.
Yeah, if they're not the same kind of home, it's not a comp.
Okay.
Yeah. They try to compare apples to apples. So same size, same age, 2-story, 1-story. It has to be apples to apples.
Finish quality.
They won't compare that one to an older house that needs work.
Got it.
Now, if you could describe your style, if you were a home, what kind of home would you be?
I know what she'd be. You tell me.
What?
I'll be nursing
I like a
home.
more traditional style. I like. I've always had like very rustic. I live in the hill country, so I like all that.
Austin Hill Country?
No, in San Antonio Hill Country. I live out there.
wow,
Yeah, I
it
live out by
extends-
Bernie. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I live out like northwest, like going out towards Bernie. I live right outside of Bernie, by like going headed to Comfort and all that.
So there's a town called Bernie around San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People watching this, tell us about
Yeah.
Bernie. What does that mean?
I live in the Fair Oaks Ranch zip code.
I
so
can
that's
hear the
really where I
ooh.
live.
I don't know why. Can you hear the
Yeah.
comments already? Oh.
High class.
No, she has a house in Bulverde, so
Yeah, that's
if
the
you
hill
know the
country
area,
also.
yeah.
Wow.
So,
when did
yeah.
y'all get these homes?
I grew up out there. Actually, I've lived there all my life.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So she had a lovely Christmas growing up. She didn't have ramen noodles hanging on the tree.
No, it wasn't that.
I love this. Tell us, honey. Tell us about your childhood.
I grew up down the street from John Hill.
Yeah,
My
she
baby,
did.
yeah.
Oh,
we grew up in
yes.
the same area. No, I grew up. It was like true hill country, like the sticks. And, my elementary, middle, and high school were like 15 minutes plus away. And there was nothing from my house to there. Just hill country and woods and trees and all that. Now it's like suburbia, beyond belief.
So growing up in that environment, did you learn how to like hunt and?
No, but like we had BB guns and we played out. We have land. I had land, so I mean,
exactly.
I would shoot at birds sometimes.
Thank you.
I would never do. Yeah, hunt for trade. I would.
Did you say hunt for trade? I live.
That it did teach me. No, but no. I mean, it wasn't that country
made me
for
get
me. But yeah, we had like go-karts and outside stuff, and like.
Do you know how to shoot a gun these days?
Yeah, but I'm terrified of guns, so I don't fuck with them. Yeah, because when I was a kid, we were out chasing birds, and my somebody that lived by us had his BB gun just carelessly, and he just picked it up, like looking at the bird, and pulled the trigger by accident. He was really far away, and the BB hit me right here. I have a tiny scar you really can't see anymore. And the damn BB was in my head for like 5 or 6 weeks until the doctor could get me in and get it out. And he's like, if it would have gone like a couple of millimeters or however much more, it would have hit the nerve and blind my eye. So I think that.
Why she's trans.
Yeah.
That's why she's trans.
That did it. It ruined me.
Oh my God, you've been shot before.
I was a little kid. I was like younger than 10. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
That's scary.
I'm terrified of. I don't like to see guns. I don't like guns. I don't have anything against them. You do you. Whatever it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I just don't like them because they freak me out.
Yeah.
Do you know how to shoot a gun, Miss Jamie?
No, I do not. I don't want to know because I'll shoot everyone.
Yeah.
No.
See, I bring this up because I was in San Antonio, and mind you, I love San Antonio, but in my hotel room, they tried breaking into my room twice.
What?
Well, you were here this time?
Not this recent trip, but when I was at the Tejano Music Awards, and I called the lobby to tell them. And so when I got back to Dallas, I thought, you know what? I need to learn how to protect myself because I don't know how to fight. Do y'all know how to fight?
Well, yeah, a girl knows how to fight if she has to, but not with guns.
I love that.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Well,
That's
things happen, honey. I've been.
Are you
out-
sure they weren't in the wrong room?
No, because they happened twice. They really tried breaking in, and I was there all by myself, just gay as the day. I went to the Tejano Awards, y'all, in a brown sequin head to toe.
What you do is you play a movie really loud, like Home Alone. Yeah, Kevin McAllister.
One time, y'all, I was at a hotel, and I thought I walked into the wrong room, y'all, and it was some butt naked lady in there, just butt naked on the bed, and I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and I closed the door. But we were talking about childhood, and it just made another light bulb bust in my head. How was childhood for y'all?
Good. Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a good childhood.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was, I guess because I don't have any complaints.
Lucky.
And you always knew you were just so unique in the world.
I knew since I was a kid, and I always looked and acted feminine, since I was a little kid. But childhood was not good. But that's okay because it made me stronger.
Yeah.
I was bullied and beaten up every day by anyone and everyone in school, at home, in the neighborhood, just because I was too feminine. And so in school, it was always because my birth name is Jamie, so. My mom named me after a guy on a soap opera that she thought was hot. And so, yes.
What soap opera?
I think it might have been All My Children, but I'm not sure. But she named me after a white guy named Jamie that she thought was cute.
Oh, and now you are one of the children.
Okay, yeah. I'm one of the children. Yeah, so my name was Jamie, so people would always, say, was that a boy or a girl or whatever. And then in school, as I don't know, probably maybe in 5th grade, I was more feminine and I started letting my hair grow out, and people were, beating me up and stuff, and I wanted to start wearing, but it's okay. I started to wear makeup and things, and so they wouldn't let me wear makeup in school, and they wouldn't let me wear girls' clothes. So I thought by the time I got to 8th grade, I already had makeup and hair and whatever. I was ready to be a full-time woman, and they would not allow me. So I thought, well, if I can't be myself, then I'm just not coming to school. So I didn't go to high school, and I dropped out after 8th grade to be my authentic self full-time since I was 14.
Oh, we have something in common. I came out of the closet when I was 14 years old. I couldn't take it anymore. And Eric was one of the first gay people I ever met.
Oh, really? You're gay?
And,
I'm just kidding.
I am. Tell them, Eric. Tell them.
I don't know. It's weird because it's opposite. I think I was sent to meet Chris, because I do hear stories about people getting bullied. Yeah. From my background, it was like I was out in full force. I wasn't a full-time woman, right? I love that term that you said that.
Yeah.
It just tickled me. Yeah. But I was gay and I was proud, and no one was going to tell me anything otherwise. Yeah. And I met Chris, and he would tell me some of the stories that would happen with him on the bus and everything. And I was like, you know what? I said I had a car. I was like 16, had a car. And he was, oh my God, Eric, like, I have to be careful, like on the bus because he wears makeup and he wears like Abercrombie and American Eagle and everything. And I'm like, yes,
it was them days.
And something in me just said, I need to just, give out a helping hand. And I said, you know what? You're not catching the bus anymore. I'm going to drive to your house every day and I'm going to pick you up and we're going to go to school. And that's what I did. And we kikied, we skipped school. We had a blast.
Best kind of friend.
Oh,
yes.
That kind of friend.
Oh, Chris, I'm sorry.
Well, I can relate to the struggle. My scholastic life was incredible, but there was those moments on the bus that were just so intense. Why did I say intense like that?
Intense.
But
it was. It was intense.
And for the young ones watching this, we know how y'all feel.
Yeah.
But hang in there because it really does get so much better. Look at these ladies taking over the world.
Great.
Thank you. It gets much better,
Yeah.
especially when you
know,
can be yourself.
I feel like now everything is so different and things are accepted. So it's in some regard easier for people to be who they are or queer kids. But then we have social media and we grew up in the 80s and 90s. So there was nothing and we did a lot of stuff that there's no evidence of. Yeah. So with social media, it's almost, that makes it more difficult. So it's kind of like a catch-22, but.
Yeah.
Well, I love when you mentioned the 80s. The fact that you were doing what you were doing, Miss Jamie, in the 80s. Who were your inspirations that were giving you strength?
So, I always felt feminine, but I wasn't quite sure. I would just pray, just let me wake up tomorrow as a girl or a boy. Just pick one. I cannot be. I thought I was the only person that felt this way in the world. And there was no social media. So how was I to know that there were other people like me because I was the only one that I knew? But 1984, Madonna came out on the MTV Awards and her little wedding dress with the boy toy belt. And that just told me, you know what? I want to be like Madonna.
Wow.
I need to, that's, the light bulb went off in my head. I didn't know any trans people or anything really. But I knew that Madonna was fierce and empowering and bold and strong and beautiful. And I thought that's what I want to be.
My goodness, the power of the pop stars, they really do influence the children, like how Gaga is to the new generations, Madonna was for you.
Yeah, because there were no role models. And I thought, if she can do all this and everybody hates her, she doesn't care what anybody thinks, and she's amazing and strong, and she's just doing whatever she wants. And, she has her gay dancers. And I saw some trans or, drag queen people in her videos and stuff. But I just thought, wow, no one is doing this. She's standing up for HIV rights and things. And I thought, wow, she is a badass, and that's what I want to be.
And you are.
Thank you.
Look at all the people who are looking at both of y'all these days. It is amazing.
Thank you so much.
And speaking of looking at, who was the first trans person that y'all ever saw? And you, like how you mentioned, you had never seen somebody or knew that other people felt that way. Who was the first trans person that you said, "Oh, bitch, there's more out there"?
Yeah.
Tandy Andrews.
Tandy Andrews.
Yeah.
You know about Tandy?
The legendary Tandy, Erica's mom.
Yeah. So in the mid-90s, she was like the bomb, like everything in San Antonio. So I was 17. My friends took me to the Paper Moon, which became the Saint. Yeah. And I didn't really know. It was always off. I was off. There was something wrong, angry, that whole thing. And they're like, we're going to go to a gay bar, watch a show. And I thought, yeah, let's go. And too cool for school, but what's a show? That whole thing. And bitch, that curtain opened up. The old Paper Moon had the steps and the stage, and the curtain opened up. And I was like, oh my God, that's what it is. I'm a girl. It clicked at that point. I was like, oh, okay, this is when, let's go buy me a wig, baby. That was the time. Or let me grow out my little 3 hairs.
Yeah.
So it was Tandy
turn.
Andrews. Yeah, Tandy and Shady Lady, Donna Day, Pauletta Lay. It was that crew back in the day, yeah. But Tandy was the first one who came out, and I thought, oh, holy. This is what was wrong. And my friends were probably like, yeah, girl, why do you think we brought you here?
Yeah.
They wanted you to get a piece of the life.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. My friends, the 2 friends I went with were a year older than me, so they were already 18. And we'll just get you in. My friend that looked nothing like me, he showed his ID and then passed it back, and he showed his driver's license, and I showed his military ID. I mean, a tall, skinny white guy named I won't say his name, but
Let's guess. Jason.
yeah,
Right.
I'll say his name. I mean, we were like sisters for 100 years. His name was Ray, and
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I used his ID, and like, I mean, back in the day, they were just like, yeah, whatever, like you're a minor, and they just let me in. That's how I got into the bars until I turned 18.
Yeah.
For all the youngins watching that might stumble upon this and your eyes are just bursting with joy, if you want to learn about trans history and icons, there is a documentary named Trantasia. Get into it, honey.
Yeah.
And if you go on YouTube, type in Tandy Andrews, type in Mimi Marks, type in Cezanne,
Yeah.
type in all those girls. They are Erica Andrews, legendary. Who was the first queen goddess that you saw, Miss Jamie?
Well, I think one of the ones that I felt inspired by and a connection to is Miss Ree in San Antonio. She and AJ, they are so amazing. They're a couple in San Antonio that own a salon called The Wave, and they've always been nothing but nice. So I felt like when I first went out to the bars and I saw other trans people, they weren't very friendly to me, but probably because they didn't know me and I was new and I was probably awkward, you know. And so in general, they kind of avoided me. But Miss Ree and AJ, beautiful, were so nice to me from the start. And Miss Ree kind of looked like Raquel Welch.
Ooh.
Yeah, she looks like Wonder Woman.
She still looks stunning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's
Amazing.
stunning. Looks
Yeah.
the same.
Yes.
Yeah, looks the same.
Yes. And AJ
AJ
looks
gets
like
into drag, and I'm like,
Janet Jackson.
yeah,
Oh,
Janet Jackson,
wow.
Raquel
Amazing.
Welch.
Yeah.
Beautiful, and so sweet. And I remember I was just staring at them the first night that I kind of went out to the bars. And I saw Tandy and everybody else, and of course Tandy wouldn't talk to anybody. But
Really?
well, because she's a star, she can't be bothered. She's could perform and leave, But Miss Ree and AJ were out in the audience, and Miss Ree would perform too, but. She owned the salon, so I was inspired by her as a powerful trans woman. And I was staring, like so rudely at them, like, oh my God. And they just gave me a little wave, like, hi, honey. And I was like, oh my God, they talked to me. And so that was my first interaction with a trans person that was friendly with me. And so I thought, I want to be like Miss Ree. So yeah, as a trans, as a trans woman.
my lips.
And we're still friends now. Her and AJ are amazing. And
now all those people in San Antonio were y'all fell from the skies above.
Yes.
Now they're living for y'all, honey.
They're so sweet. Yeah, I just talked to Miss Ree and AJ the other night, but Miss Ree was on a radio show in the 90s in San Antonio in the morning as, like a personality for the radio, the morning show. And Amber Nix and, with some other people. And she had a billboard in the 90s.
Dang.
Yes.
Wow.
Legendary, 96.1.
I know. I thought
And that ties into what y'all are doing right now, because we are living in some interesting times, and we're not going to go there. There's enough of that out there. But we're just going to say really quickly that in this world that we're living in, where they're trying to label trans people or gay people as a certain something, what is so cool about both of y'all is that y'all have bum rushed into that ether, that pop culture bubble. And y'all are not letting politicians or people define y'all. Y'all are successful. Y'all are showing the world that what they're saying on television isn't true about us.
Yeah.
Look at us. Yeah. Look at y'all.
Yeah.
And that's what's so incredible. So y'all deserve all the flowers in the universe. And it brings me so much joy seeing the world receiving y'all the way they are. Oh, honey, did you think I was going to give it to you all in one take? Stay tuned, because part 2 gets even juicier.
This is MZ Now, online at mznow.tv. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MZ Now.